Hi, today we're going to learn how to name type 2 ionic compounds. So you know that an ionic compound is type 2 when we look at the periodic table. If the cation or the metal lives in this middle transition metal area. Unless you are silver, which we know loses 1, zinc, which we know loses 2, and aluminum, which we know loses 3. All of the other elements in this area lose different amounts of electrons, and so the only way to name them is by using our Roman numerals. So, in this first one right here, iron 2, that Roman numeral is representing iron is losing 2 electrons. And then when we look at bromine on the periodic table, we find bromine right here, and we know that group gains 1 electron. We can write bromine gaining 1 electron. And we know if iron is losing 2 and bromine is gaining 1, that doesn't equal 0. So we need to add an extra bromine. So we have a +2 and a -2 equaling 0. And then when we read our formula, we have iron, and we have 1 of them, and then bromine, and we have 1, 2 bromine. So let's try down here. This iron is losing 3 electrons. That's why it's iron 3. And then when we look for sulfur on the periodic table, we find it right here. And we know this group gains 2 electrons. So sulfur gaining 2. We have a +3 and a -2. That doesn't equal 0. So we need an extra iron. Will give us an overall charge of +6. And now we need 2 more sulfurs to give us an overall charge of -6. And we know that +6 and -6 now equals 0. So when we write the formula, we know we have 1, 2 irons and 1, 2, 3 sulfurs. Now let's go to the bottom where we have the formula, but we need the name. So we know we have copper, but we don't know which copper we have. So we need to look at the periodic table for the phosphorus. Phosphorus is in this group right here that always gains 3 electrons. So if phosphorus always gains 3 electrons, we know that these 3 coppers that we have must be doing what to make that phosphorus happy? They must each be giving out 1 electron. Because this +3 now equals the -3. And so when we name this compound, we call it copper Roman numeral 1, meaning the coppers each lose 1 electron, phosphide. Okay, let's try this one. Again, we have iron. We don't know which iron we have, so we'll have to look at the periodic table for iodine. And we find iodine right here in the -1 group. So we have our iodine gaining 1 electron. And we have 3 of those iodines, all gaining 1, giving us an overall charge of -3. So that means this iron must be giving off 3 electrons to make those 3 iodines happy. So when we name this compound, we call it iron 3, because this iron gives off 3 electrons, iodide. Let me know if you have any questions.